From the newsroom of the Bryant College Station Eagle, this is the Brazos Sports Prepscast. And now, the Eagle High School sports team, Alex Miller and Jake Weiss.
What's going on, everyone? You're listening to the Brazos Sports Prepscast. I'm Alex Miller with the Eagle, joined always by Mr. Jake Weiss, our high school sports reporter. Jake, how's it going?
Doing good, Alex. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's a Wednesday afternoon. Jake, we're past the halfway mark of the regular season, and everybody is in district play now. How about that?
I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Well, like we said last week, these are the games that count, right?
Yeah.
So later in the show, we're going to hear from Allen Academy coach Adrian Adams. He's going to be here in studio with us talking all things Ram football. But before we get to that, let's recap a little bit of action last week here locally in Bryan College Station. Let's start with A&M Consolidated. Maybe the game of the week. Beat Cedar Park 13-10. The Tigers came away with a huge win over the Timberwolves thanks to Mo Ficchetti's buzzer beater field goal at the end of the game. He had a key interception in the fourth quarter too, so big game for him. He was our player of the week. Congrats to Mo. Jake, these are the kinds of games that you have to endure in district play, and the Tigers did it in on their way and to trying to win a district championship.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it before. This is a whole new district for them too, so everyone's kind of trying to figure out where they stand, what teams are where. So I think that last week was another good reminder of, hey, Console and College Station, hey, we got to figure out where everyone kind of stands because they don't really know these teams. So I mean, this was another good win, but one of those weeks where like you're learning about each team as you kind of go along. So I think they kind of know a lot more about Cedar Park now.
For sure. Consol, they continue district play this week against Pflugerville-Hendrickson. The Hawks are 1-4, 0-2 in district play. Consol in a three-way tie for first with College Station and I think Leander Glenn, all three at 2-0. Jake, what do we feel like we're looking to see from the Tigers this week?
I've been to a couple of the games now. I feel like they get the run game going again. Keyshawn, Trey Taylor, get those guys going. Passing game, Wesley, Will Hargett, quarterback, kind of get the offense rolling again. I don't know about you, but I didn't get to see the final score until I got back from Georgetown, so it was like 2 a.m., and I'm just like, 13-10, what happened? Like, I immediately clicked on the story and had to read all about it. So I think they probably want to get the offense, put some more points on the board this week and kind of, I don't want to say they won, so I don't want to say get things back on track, but, kind of get back to putting up points on the board.
For sure. Well, Cedar Park, they're going to be playing the other College Station team, the Cougars, this week. Last week, the Cougars, they crushed Georgetown Eastview 68-10. This is the Aiden Martinez-Brown show, it seemed like. 5 total touchdowns. Jake, you were over there in Georgetown. What did you see from the Cougars last week?
Well, besides, seeing Aiden Martinez-Brown find the end zone 5 times, it seemed like in the first half, especially in the first quarter, he had all three of their touchdowns. So it seemed like every time I looked up, it was like, oh, hey, Aiden Martinez-Brown in the end zone again. I thought they looked really good, all 3 phases of the game, special teams, defense, offense, just really looked really, really good in just all 3 aspects. Want to give a shout-out, too, to the defense and special teams especially. I feel like you see 68-10, you really just think, wow, they put up a lot of points. The defense and special teams both did a really good job of giving College Station short fields to work with. There was one point they blocked a punt, not blocked the punt. Eastview muffed the snap back of the end zone. College Station fell on it. That was the touchdown. Another time, same deal, muff snap. And then, College Station, it was Colton Griswold, the linebacker. He made a big hit. I think College Station started that drive on their own, on the 7-yard line because of that. So they immediately just punched it in, I think 2 plays later. So, defense, special teams, really just they looked good in every aspect.
Well, the Cougars, like we said, they host Cedar Park this week. The Timberwolves, they're looking for a big win. They're sitting at 1-4. So the Cougars know they've got a target on their back. Curious to see how this offense continues to progress with Aiden Martinez-Brown now leading the charge at running back for the meanwhile. And College Station continuing to use a couple quarterbacks back there too.
Yeah, I was about to say, I completely forgot to mention that last time. Yeah, they used both Jackson Ingram and Aaron Maiden.
Arrington Maiden.
There we go. I'm still working on the names, everybody. Sorry about that. But, yeah, both of them, they used both of them. Both took snaps throughout the whole game, all 4 quarters. They kind of rotated in and out.
Well, moving along, Bryan beat Copper's Cove 49-20. Without Malcolm Gooden, they really were able to find a groove in the run game. Ran for 380 yards. Isaiah Nuttall, Tate Snaringer, JaValen Wade, they each had over 100 yards rushing. This was a big win for the Vikings on the road, and we talked about it last week that they really needed this one after kind of their tough go against Temple the week before. Brian's off this week before they come back against Pflugerville Weiss, and you kind of look at where the Vikings' schedule is going. If they can get healthy again, get a guy like Gooden back, and continue what they had going in the run game, I mean, the Vikings can really make a run this second half of the season in district play.
Yeah, no, that offensive line, and their defensive line, I think I saw a stat that said they only allowed 1 rushing yard to Copper's Cove. So, I mean, defense is playing a lot better because I know a couple weeks ago against Huntsville, Huntsville kind of ran all over Bryan, but they're right in the ship, like you said. If they can get healthy, they're a team to watch. I mean, they're a team to watch. I think going forward.
Yeah, it sets up to where if they can get it going, they'll close the season a big game against Harker Heights. But a lot of football still to be played between now and then. But Bryan, certainly a team we've got our eye on and have had our eye on this season. Curious to see if the Vikings can really make something out of the second half of the season. Rudder, they were off last week. They're gearing up for Huntsville after that overtime loss to Lamar Consolidated, tough loss for the Rangers. And now they host the Hornets. This is a pivotal district matchup in multiple ways. It's kind of been an up and down season for the Hornets. I think you've seen them twice now, haven't you? So
saw them week 1 and week 2. So actually back-to-back weeks.
They beat Lamar Consolidated last week 12-7. You look at last year, this win over Huntsville was the turning point for Rudder and helped propel them into the playoffs. And so the Rangers are looking to get another big win this Friday.
Well, and it's at home for Rudder. I feel like Rudder's been on the road 2-3 weeks now. I mean, I can't remember the last time they even had a home game. So I think they're I'm talking with Coach Izar and Kevin Holmes later. I'm kind of interested, too, to see, how excited they are just to be back in front of the home crowd because I really can't remember the last time they had a home game. Can you? I mean, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, it was it against Elgin when they played Elgin?
That's right, it was, yeah. So that was, 3-4 weeks
ago? So they played Colleen Chaparral, and then they had the game against Lamar Consolidated, and then they were off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's 3 weeks. So, well, gonna see if the Rangers can get back on track. They need this one. They're going to be ready. We'll be there covering that game. All right, that's going to do it for this first segment of the podcast. Coming up next, we have Allen Academy coach Adrian Adams in studio talking all things Ram football. We'll be back. Welcome back to the show, everyone. We're joined now by Allen Academy head coach Adrian Adams. Coach, thanks for coming by and giving us a few minutes of your afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, so, this is y'all's bye week, halfway through the season. As you look back at the first half of action, what have you really learned about this Ram team?
Just a lot of things that we went through last year has kind of paid off so far this season. Offensively, we've been pretty explosive. I think we averaged like 62.5 a game. And then on the defensive side, we've been playing pretty well also. So there, and then special teams has been a surprise for us. So we've really picked it up in that aspect. So things have been going well, kind of as planned in the confidence department, so to speak.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a little bit about, that week 2 loss to Bastrop Tribe. After that one, you guys have reeled off 4 in a row. Mm-hmm. Where did you kind of seen the team kind of grow from that loss? Maybe was it confidence? Where have you kind of seen them grow from that?
Bastrop is a really good team, so that was a good week 2 test typically on week 2, I like to try to schedule something pretty strong. But we kind of learned from that game what we need to do to get better. And we just kind of improved week to week. Coming off of that week 2 loss to play St. Joe, that's always a good test. And I think we just kind of build momentum from that game.
Yeah, Rusty's a guy that we continue to talk about on our show, and he keeps showing up in our honor roll. We knew coming into the season that he'd be a key piece to your team, but, where have you really seen him grow in his game and be most effective on the field this year?
We actually just had our mid-season player evaluations yesterday before practice, and Rusty still hasn't reached his Rusty potential, so to speak. He has 6 interceptions, and I think like 7 or 8 touchdowns on offense, but he's just kind of scratching the surface on what he needs to do, and what he can do actually on the field. So we're really excited about what he's been doing.
And then kind of speaking of those mid-season evaluations, where have you kind of seen the team, or where would you like to see the team kind of grow and improve the second half of the season?
Honestly, our road play. We've only had 2 away games. We came out a little bit sluggish against Bastrop. Same thing against Faith West last week. Gave up a lot of points in the first quarter. Then once we settled down, we were good. And if we're going to be good in the playoffs, we're going to have to get on the bus and go play. So it's just our focus on the road. I think we feel more comfortable at home playing at Bakerfield in front of our home crowd. But we got some big games coming up on the road if we're going to try to win a district championship.
Yeah, you look at the second half of the season. I know the game against Pasadena is big, and then, of course, closing against Conroe Covenant. A lot of football still left to play, but what do you hope to maybe see from your team in those 2 games in particular?
Well, those 2 are coming up. I think what we really talked about here lately is just refocusing on the game in front of us, because we have talked about Pasadena and Conroe because we know those are huge, but coming off a bye week, typically we haven't played well off of the bye week since I've been here. So we've just been cleaning things up this week, and then next week we have Beaumont, and we just kind of want to get on a roll and play. We've won 4 straight, but we don't want to peak too early. And so we know we have those big games coming up later on, so we're just going to take it 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time.
What's maybe been something that has surprised you about this team, or something that, has really caught your attention that's specific to this team in particular?
That's a good question. I hate to say it's kind of going as planned the way I thought it would, but we kind of are. But we've had some people kind of like step up in different roles, not necessarily in big-time plays, but for example, like Brockfield, he's a freshman. He's starting both ways. Originally, we just wanted him to play offense, but some things happened. We lost a couple people who ended up not playing, so he's playing more defense. So he's kind of filled a role that we need. We don't have, like Coach Simpson, our defensive coordinator, we don't want superstar players on our defense. We just want dogs who do their job. And that's kind of where we are on there. On offense, we can spread it around. We got 6 weapons every single play, which is really good. So would I say a surprise? Not really a surprise. I think things are kind of going the way we hope they go coming into the season.
Well, if you've never seen 6-man football, you got to get out and watch the Rams. They're fast, they're furious, and they got something pretty good going on. So, Coach, hey, before we let you go, we got to get your thoughts on Red River this weekend. What I know you're a Horns fan.
Yes.
How are you feeling going into this game?
Horns by 17.
Horns by 17.
Horns by 17.
All right.
All right. I don't think that's a bold prediction. I think their offense is – I've seen them in person. That offense is really fast. And then defensively, they're better than they were in the past. And I think Oklahoma's a little down, so I think this is the year for Shark to go in and win it. I think I actually saw a stat between Herman, Strong, neither one of them lost year 2 at the Red River rivalry. So Shark has to win it.
All right. Well, hey, if we know anything about Red River, it's always an entertaining game.
Yes,
so
yes.
I would expect nothing less this Saturday. Hey, Coach, enjoy the week off and get ready for the second half of the season. I'm sure we'll be talking to you down the road about Ram football here this year.
Always appreciate y'all's time. Thank you.
All right. We'll be back for our closing segment here in a minute. Thanks again to Coach Adams for taking a few minutes to come in studio, talk a little Ram football. We're looking forward to seeing what the Rams can put together this second half of the season. All right, Jake, let's wrap it up. 3 area games to watch. What's our first area game this week, Jake?
Yeah, we've got Bremont at
Chilton.
Chilton, thank you. I was about to say, I read that and I was like, No, but yeah, that's going to be a big one. It's a top 10 game in 2A Division II. We've talked about, I think, both of these teams before. I think we've at least briefly mentioned both of them.
Right.
And we know both of these teams know each other pretty well. They're no strangers to each other. We talked about Bremont last week. They got another big win against
Windthorst.
Yeah, Windthorst
Up in Aledo.
I would say it wasn't even it was a neutral site game.
Mm-hmm.
So a win for them, but another win for them this week would be big. We know that. Both of these teams are 5-0, battle of 2 undefeated teams. So kind of whoever wins, kind of takes the driver's seat in their district. I know it just started, but this does give you kind of a leg up, for Bremond, I think, if they pick up this win, it'll really kind of cement them in the driver's seat in their district, but also kind of, hey, put themselves on some radars for, I think, state title. I know it's early, but kind of really go ahead and put you in the driver's seat there.
Yeah, I think we knew coming into the year that the Tigers had a chance to be a really good team, and they've been very impressive through the first half of the season. So a win over Chilton would really solidify kind of what we've been thinking that this Bremond team could be, and they want to prove it to themselves too, I'm sure. So going to probably be a really good game up there near the Waco area. All right, Jake, we got an area-on-area game this week. Snook at Somerville, the Burleson County Showdown. It's only about a 20-minute drive for these two teams. So, hey, the Blue Jays, they're sitting pretty. Got a big win on the road last year over Somerville. That really was the difference in them making the playoffs or not. But on the flip side, Somerville, we talked about them last week getting that big win over Yorktown. They followed it up and got another big win against, was it Louise?
Yeah, it was. And it was on the road, too. So.
Right. So, hey, 2 wins for the Yawas starting district play. So,